Great rising, great rising, great rising. Welcome to the Morning Success Show with Shalena D.I.V.A. We are so excited that you have decided to launch your morning here with us today. We can't wait to jump into the show. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, comment, and share this video with a friend as you launch your morning. Okay, so we hope you had a great weekend and you're getting back into the swing of things. All right, so you all know how we like to get down. You all know we like to start our first thing in the morning because we want to offer up unto God the first fruits of our life. Okay, our first thoughts, our first actions, our first everything. Okay, so I'm going to ask Angie Lee if she would lead us into prayer. So Angie, take it away.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Dear Lord, my Heavenly Father, dear God, as we gather on this line, dear God, let something that we say, dear God, be nourishment to the people's soul, dear God. Let it be nourishment, dear God, is a seed, dear God, is planted on fertile soil, dear God. That maybe it's somebody that comes on need, dear God, that they need an answer. They need guidance, dear God. They need confirmation, dear God. And let's, as we all gather here, dear God, to be able to plant souls, to be able to motivate, dear God, but let us not count it as robbery, dear God. To let us know it's not about us. As Shalena said yesterday, it's not about us, dear God. Let us minimize us, dear God, but make it more you. Magnetize, most of the time, to be you, dear God. You know what we standing in need of. Dear God, somebody coming here, they wounded, weak, and weary and sad, dear God. But we know you can turn the situation around. Like I said on many times before, dear God, you the only man that I know that'll take a negative bank account and turn it in a positive with a snap of a finger. Dear God, I'm a living witness, dear God. I done went to bed, dear God, with my account being in the negative, dear God, and woke up, dear God, with it being on the plus side. So you are the Alpha and Omega in a holy righteous name. Amen.
Amen, amen, and amen. Angie, thank you so much for leading us into prayer. We really, truly do appreciate it. So, everyone, the next segment of the show is dedicated to praise reports, prayer requests, and testimony. So, if there's anything you would like to share, all you have to do is just type it in the chat, and I promise you, we will get to it and we will read it out loud and acknowledge it. We will pray and agree with you. Okay, so I always like to just share my testimony. I thank God for waking me up this morning. Thank God for starting me on my way. I thank God for my son and the people in my life. I thank God for my mother. I thank God for another chance. Okay, for the Bible says, this I recall to my mind, therefore I have hope. It is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed, because his compassions faileth not. They are new every morning. Great is his faithfulness. God is so good and so faithful. And I thank him for being faithful even when I'm not faithful. You know, I thank God for being just so good, you know, when I'm not always good, and forgiving when I'm not always when I'm struggling to forgive. I truly do thank God for that. I thank him for his word, and I thank him for growth. I thank him so much for that. I thank him for this day. You know, it didn't have to be this way, and I am truly so grateful and so thankful for it. So that's my testimony this morning. If you have a testimony, I tell you, share it, because the more things that you find yourself, the more things that you're grateful for, the more things you'll find in your life that you will be grateful for. Okay. So I truly do appreciate for just this time and this opportunity. Yes, I really do. So I'm going to ask Angie to come back. And Angie, if you can share your testimony this morning, that would be wonderful.
Yes, ma'am. As I was studying 1 Peter 3 and 12, it says, God ears are always open for the prayers of the righteousness. And I want to also tap in a little bit that I have been buying these scrubs. I have been buying these nursing scrubs, and every assignment that I have been on, it seems like it's another color. And it becomes expensive. Very expensive. And I'm like, well, Lord, now I got to buy another color. And I, just had purchased some not even a few months ago. So I had this thought in my mind. I was like, God, it would be nice if I can just find me some scrubs. But I hadn't made time to go to the Goodwill. So just by thought, I didn't even verbalize it. But when I got to work, when I got to work today, I seen each little section already laid out with a little paper in front of the scrub saying, free to a good home. Free to a good home. They already been washed, but free to a good home. And they were the color that I need. They were some whites and some navy blues. And I was like, God, did you give that blessing to me? I didn't even ask you for it. All I did was think about it. And now I realize our thoughts have power. Our thoughts can attract what you want. Shalena said on yesterday, whatever you say, the world will give it to you. But are you ready? Are you in position to receive? So that is just a little quick little thing that I'm thankful for, because now I don't have to go out here and pay for any more squirrels. That when I have to work opposite shifts and back to back shifts, I don't have to quickly come home, throw my uniform in the washing machine and wash. And then sometimes I forget that they in there and forget to dry them. Now I have extra uniforms. So I know they might be small to you, but I'm thankful for the lady that had upgraded. And I think she went on to be a nurse practitioner or whatever she did, and she could no longer see use. And remember, what is sometimes is your trash, God take around and it'll be somebody's treasure. That's what I want to give you and motivate you this morning. Thank you.
Amen about that. I know that's right. So one man's trash is another man's treasure. I think that is awesome. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Angie. Zamira, if Queen Z, if you don't mind sharing your testimony this morning, that would be wonderful.
Absolutely. So I am just grateful to be here today. I am grateful for an expanding global team. I am grateful for just, I guess God just keeping me on the right path of my purpose. There's a lot of things out here that can be distractions. And when you're called, other things will try to distract you from your calling. And I think that's just something that I don't take for granted. I definitely like being able to do exactly what I'm supposed to do as far as walking in my purpose. I'm grateful that I can meet people and connect with them and build long-lasting relationships, no matter how long we've known each other. And I think that's important. I really do. And I'm just grateful that God has instilled that in my heart to be able to give to other people freely. So I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful to just be a blessing on this call.
That is amazing. I'm so happy for you, Zamira, that you're growing, your business is growing, and that you are growing as a person. It is truly beautiful. And I'm happy for you. You should have people in your life who are genuinely happy for you growing, right? So the next segment of the show is dedicated to the I Am Confessions, and that's where we consciously and deliberately create the kind of lives that we want, because we know that whatever follows the words I am must come looking for us, okay? So I'll go first. I am brave. I am steadfast. I am unmovable. I am successful. I am a thought leader. I am appreciated. I am lovable. I am loved. I am intelligent. I'm an amazing mother. I'm a phenomenal wife. I am a successful business coach. I am Shalena, D.I.V.A. See, the whole point of you doing your I am confessions is it's whatever you're big, brave, and bold enough to believe about yourself and what you're willing to work out. So it's what you believe and it's what you're willing to walk out and work out about yourself. Doesn't matter what anyone says. Doesn't matter what anyone thinks. All that matters is what you say and what you think. Okay? So I'm going to ask Queen Z if she could share her I am confession with us this morning. Queen Z, take it away.
All right. I am confident. I am courageous. I am changing the world. I am healing lives daily. I'm a multimillionaire. I am a #1 philanthropist in my community. I am the #1 world's personal trainer. I am a diverse millennial leader. I am Zamira Scott.
Okay, the camera's on me, so I'm going to go ahead and go. I am a leader. I am bold. I am an influencer. I am a sought-after keynote speaker. I am a prayer warrior. I am God's girl for real. I am a New York Times bestseller author. I am negotiating major 6-figure contracts. I am a loving, supporting wife and mother. I am making lasting connections. I am a multimillionaire living my best life right now. I am a courageous, caring nurse that are changing lives just by my healing, soothing mouth, lips, and hearing and listening to my voice. Thank you. I am Angela Lee.
Amen. Sorry about that, Angie. Angie was like, it's on me. So I guess oh my goodness. So yes. So thank you so much for sharing your I am confession. And listen, if you have friends where you cannot talk like this around them, you can't share your ideas with them, then listen, you need a new set of friends. You need a new set of friends who just are not jealous of you and who will actually celebrate that. All right. So the next segment of the show is dedicated to the tip for the body, and we have Queen Z here, and she is going to give us today's tip for the body. So Queen Z, take it away.
Oh, great. Thank you, Shalena. So today's tip for the body is specifically dedicated to fasting. So a lot of things happen during, and I'm just going to explain quickly what intermittent fasting is. Intermittent fasting is when you have at least anywhere between 8 to 16 hours where you do not consume foods. You may consume just water. Some fast, they don't consume foods at all when they're intermittent fastings. And the benefit to intermittent fasting is that it does cellular repair for your body. So your body actually rejuvenates and pushes out all the bad stuff when you are fasting because nothing is going in to digest. The one thing that I love is that intermittent fasting helps reduce belly fat by increasing your metabolic and metabolism. So there's like a 3 point, 14% increase when you actually fast. So when you're fasting, that means abstaining from stuff. Your insulin levels and your blood levels actually drop significantly, which facilitates fat burning cells. So you have this thing where you have fat burning cells that actually start to work when you're not putting food inside of your body so that your body can heal properly. The lower the insulin levels, the actual better. But if you're a type 2 diabetic, this can help. But if you're a diabetic, I don't suggest fasting at all. If you're type 1 diabetic and you need insulin, that completely just doesn't do well for your body. Another thing that intermittent fasting helps is with stress and inflammation on the body. So it actually enhances the resistance to oxidative stress, which means that it's just additional stress. So know when you're doing intermittent fasting, that definitely helps repair your body. And I think more people should try to add that into the routine, whether it's not so much skipping a meal, but you were just going to fast until a certain time and then you'll eat. And that does not mean over-engorge when you eat. You'll just eat regular, but make sure you're drinking tons of water to flush everything out that your body is repairing. That is my tip of the day, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Actually, Queen Z, I had a few questions. You said the fasting was how many hours? You said it was a couple of hours.
Anywhere between 8 to 16.
Say that again.
Anywhere between 8 to 16 hours.
Okay. All right. So thank you so much for sharing that tip. I really, truly do appreciate that. All right, you guys. So the next portion of the show, we're going to switch it up. It's going to be a little bit different. Those of you who were tuning in to us yesterday, you saw how Angie and I, we basically tag teamed the lesson, and I really enjoyed it because we both gave you our different perspectives on a topic. Yesterday, we talked about how to fulfill your dreams, and we gave you some of our very own tips. And so today I wanted to talk about how to find your purpose. I find a lot of people who often struggle with this when I'm online. I find people who often struggle with this. And I asked the question last week, if I were to teach a class on how to find your purpose, would you be interested? And a lot of people were interested. And they were like, I just feel so lost. I just feel so stuck. And I have some views on how to find your purpose. And I think they might differ slightly than what you've heard. And I think it's is not as difficult as you may think. And so I have my perspective on it, but I would love to get Queen Z and Angie Lee's perspective on how to find your purpose, because I believe that the three of us are walking in our purpose And I know we all do different things to facilitate that process. So it'll be good to just hear what Angie and what Queen Z had to think about that. So if anybody has any questions, definitely just post them in the chat. So we are saying great rising to everyone who is joining us. So here's the thing, if you're watching, but you don't type in the chat, there's no way for me to know who's watching, especially not on YouTube. So hello to Cynthia Benson. She's talking about fasting and how it definitely worked for her. So hello to Cynthia and everyone else who is watching. So now we are going to go into the life lesson portion of the call. So Queen Z and Angie, I would love to get all of your input on how to find your purpose. And so I don't want to, this is going to be a round table. So we all just get to chime in there. So whoever wants to go first, you can definitely do that. And let me unmute you, Queen Z, to just share your opinions on how to find purpose. Well, I'll open it up this way. I think that unfortunately, a lot of our upbringings has really caused us to really make this whole purpose finding thing difficult. And especially our religious upbringing. And for those who were like, well, I didn't grow up in the church and I still find it hard. I didn't grow up, religiously, I still find it hard. I also think it's something that Angie mentioned last week when she was teaching about, those discussions when we're having dinner about goal setting and finding purpose and nurturing your gifts and talents as children. Many of us didn't have those conversations. Mm-hmm. So this idea of purpose, it seems weird, it seems hard. So I think that on the one hand, a lot of our religious upbringings has kind of made it difficult for some of us. And then the lack of those conversations about nurturing our gifts and talents, I think that has also made it difficult for some people to kind of find their purpose. So that's just the place of where I'm coming from. So that's why a lot of my answers will kind of reflect that in a way. But Angie or Queen Z, if one of you wanted to just kind of just share like some advice to people about how they can find their purpose, that would be great.
So I don't know if Angie, if you mind if I go before you.
Go ahead.
As far as finding your purpose, that's definitely something that I can say I've definitely struggled with in the past. Finding your purpose has everything to do with how you feel on the inside and what it does. So every single day, when you find something that drives your purpose, not something that you just like, something that you love, something that you will go to the edges of the earth for, you wake up with this type of fire inside of you to change lives or to improve whatever's around you or to just adjust your life. Finding your purpose is something that takes time. And sometimes people don't always understand that it takes time. Like it definitely takes time to find your purpose. What has helped for me is finding out and trying things and seeing if that fits with how I feel on the inside. If it doesn't fit or match that, or if it doesn't kind of light my fire underneath me or inside my heart, or if I pray about it and it doesn't feel good, I won't do it. But finding your purpose can be in multiple things, but your ultimate purpose as far as what you are designed to do. And I think Shalena made a comment about this the other day when we were at lunch. It was more so your purpose when you actually find it, like when you find what you want to do and when you do it, it just like we're all destined here to improve. And I think that's a great thing that you touched on when we were at lunch. You basically said we're all destined here to improve the entire surroundings around us. I think we are all here and called to lead in some way, shape, or form, even when it's uncomfortable. But finding your purpose makes it a lot easier. I think it's a trial and error with purpose. And you can correct me if you've had a different experience, but I've definitely had times where I thought this was it for me, and then something shifted. And right now I feel like I'm just walking divinely in it to be able to help others. But Angie, if you have anything to say on what I've said as far as finding your purpose and what you may have discovered for yourself. Like, please be sure, please chime in. I'm totally open.
Okay. Well, good morning, everyone. Like I said again, in Queen Z, it's great to have you on the team this morning. Okay. I was seeing, it looked like my mic was out. But anyway, I just want to piggyback off what both of you all said. When you are looking for your purpose, a lot of times you don't know that's what it is, because you don't know that is that thing, because you do it so easily. You know, when you're doing it, people are gonna tell you, "Hey, Angie, you know, which one of my former friends, she used to tell me, Angie, you going to school for the wrong thing. You going to school for the wrong thing. You love to talk." But I didn't know that was an option on the table. I started writing a book out there in California because so many people would tell me, "Angie, I think you're scared of success." And I'm thinking, no, I don't think I'm scared of success. And I titled the book, "The Fear of Becoming a Successful Woman," because as I started increasing, I started noticing separation came from people that I love, that I want to be with me. I started knowing that it was a shift in the way that people kind of gravitated to me. And, you know, especially with me speaking, especially with me praying. And then people want to put me in a different arena. And I felt like that was too uncomfortable for me. So I kind of backpedaled out of it, and I was like, "Oh, I don't want to be that." You know, so many people have given me the title of being a preacher or a minister, and I'm like, "Oh no, you know, my life is not like that. You know, God, I still want to enjoy my cocktails." So I would find myself backpedaling out those type of arenas, even if I'm good at what I do. That you don't want the not necessarily the accolades, but you don't want even the rejection that comes with that. So even finding your purpose, sometimes other people will tell you, but then being able to wrap your arms around and say, "Yeah, this is where I'm supposed to be, because I've been up all night, you know, and I haven't even went to sleep because I enjoy speaking. This is something that moves me." And I was like, "Angie, if it had been something else, my body would be so tired, so sluggish." But when it's something what you want to do, you can do it with your eyes closed.
I think that that's key. I think that you both hit upon some really good points. And I guess that I like to say, the more mature I become, right? I realize that it's not as stringent or it's not as strict as we've been trained to believe. And like when Zamira and we had lunch last Wednesday, and it was a great time we had. I was just saying that I think it was like Neil Donald Walsh, or no, Neil Donald Walsh or Deepak Chopra was one of them. They were talking about they used an analogy about finding purpose, and it was about children when they go to a playground, and as their guardian, as their parent, you really have just one primary focus, and that whole focus is you just don't want them to get hurt, like physically hurt themselves. And you know, even though it's a playground, if you don't, you can still get hurt at the playground, right? You don't want anybody to snatch your kid. You don't want your kid to get hurt. You don't want anyone to hurt your kid. You don't want your kid to hurt anyone else. But other than that, you're pretty much good with whatever they try, with whatever they do. Of course, if they're too young, you don't want your child, like, if they're really, really young, you don't want them attempting something, like I said, they can hurt themselves. But other than that, it's like, go try the monkey bars, go try to swing, go try to slide, go try the seesaw, whatever. Just don't hurt yourself. And I feel like if we gave ourselves that kind of freedom, where it's like, just don't do anything foolish. Like, don't do anything to hurt yourself, but explore. Find out what you like. You may not like the monkey bars. You may like the swings better. You may like the slides better. You might like the seesaw better. But I want you to explore. I want you to try. And you may be a little more suited for a little bit better for different things. But most importantly, what is it that you enjoy? And I think it's such a shame that I'm not going to say where, because there are some cultures where they do allow their kids to feel that, but where it's like, explore what you like. Figure it out. Explore what you like. What are your, explore your options, right? As long as you don't hurt yourself. And if we kind of took that approach, I think we wouldn't be so fearful, and we would actually try more things. Now, with that being said, about giving yourself that creative freedom, that creative license to explore, I also believe that we should nurture our gifts and talents. I think that our gifts and talents should be nurtured so much more, because this is what I believe. I believe you have your purpose, and I believe you have your gifts and your talents. And, I believe that this is what I believe. Now, I may evolve on this one. I may change, and that's fine, because I'm open to that. But I just believe that we really, if you want to have a good life and you want to have a meaningful, impactful life, our purpose is really the same. Help someone, empower someone, inspire someone, lift someone up, improve, like words like that. We want to improve the world, make the world better, and, improve lives and make other lives better. Now, how you're going to do that, it may show up differently. Like, you have some nurses that are doing all of those things that I just said, and thank God for them. They're working in their gifts, and they really enjoy what they do. Now, we've all been to the hospital, and we met some nasty nurses, terrible bedside manner. Same thing with doctors, right? You're like, I don't really know if this is whatever, but you have nurses who are rocking it out. You have musicians and singers who empower, inspire, uplift. They do all of that, but they're using their gifts and they're doing it through music. You have speakers, you have coaches, you have politicians, you have people who are all, improving and impacting our lives, but how we're doing it, it shows up according to our gifts. So that's why I believe that you should really discover your gifts, invest in it, value it, and appreciate it. That's D.I.V.A, the D.I.V.A acronym, because that's going to determine how you're going to show up. And I believe that you should really enjoy what it is that you do, because it shows up and it truly makes a difference. So if you find that you're really not enjoying what you're doing, try to figure out why. Why am I not enjoying what I'm doing? And if you're not, and you explore that, I want you to look, are you using your gifts and talents? See, when I was in corporate America a couple of years ago, it's like well over 10 years ago, I was not enjoying it. I was not using my gifts and talents. Like I just felt like a caged bird. I wasn't talking to people. I wasn't inspiring with my words. I wasn't using my writing gifts. I wasn't doing any of that. And I felt stifled. So I want you to look like where you are now. Are you using any of your gifts? Are you happy doing what you're doing? And I think if we kind of start there, it can give you some type of direction. But I also will caution you, and I believe this, because you have a lot of people just like quit your job and do this. And I'm not one to be quick to say that, especially if you don't have a plan in place. But here's the thing. I believe that with God, nothing is wasted. I truly believe that. So where you're at right now in your job, I believe you're learning skills and talents that will serve you for that area that you may go into, right? But what I just really don't like is people beating themselves up because you feel like, oh, I'm not walking in my purpose. I'm not doing this. Like, just, blossom where you are and really just explore where you are right now, because it could be preparing you for that. But I just wish that we weren't so hard on ourselves. Like, I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know what it is. Like, and just have a little more fun with it. That's just kind of like my take on it. So Queen Z or Angie, do you have any input or anything you wanted to add to that, or a different perspective on it? I'm all ears.
I will definitely say I agree with you 100% about trying things. And definitely I agree with you about the job statement. There's some things just as being entrepreneurs that we make it seem like, and this is me speaking for myself and some other entrepreneurs as well, that we make it seem as though no job is necessary, but it is. Like, we all started with trying to get funding, and you should let your job, whatever it is, your daytime, even if you, I don't want to say even if you don't like it, but even if you could tolerate it for a short period of time, to be able to fund your dream, fund your fortune. So your job is going to fund your fortune, fund your purpose. And I think that's something that I want more entrepreneurs to encourage. I've even been at fault for it and said, you know, why are you at your job? Like, if you're not happy. But here's the thing, some people still have no idea what their purpose is and they're still unhappy in their job. So that's definitely something that I've become a little more lighter on as I've grown, because I understand that your job is your investor. Like, that's investing in you to be able to fulfill whatever it is that you're doing outside of that, especially purpose related. I definitely agree with you about trial and error. That's very, 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 I feel like that's the only way you're going to know. You have to try multiple things to see what really fits your puzzle, what fits in your box. And I think that's super, super imperative to try it. So I'm all about trying before you buy. I'm all about trying before you do anything, especially to see that if it's going to affect your life in a more positive manner. But don't quit your job unless you have some type of cushioning underneath for you to sustain yourself, but use your job as your investor. If you're unhappy in it now, switch the mindset that you go into your job with so that you can see this as investing in your future in the long run for whatever it is that you're purposeful for, or purpose driven. And I think that's just very important. And I want to be able to educate and encourage other people. Yes, have a job to fund your fortune, but understand that you're more than what you're working your 9 to 5 for. You're more than just trying to survive or surviving or making a living just to do this. So I definitely want to encourage people to do that as well, to look outside of the box.
Mm-hmm. Did you want to share something, Angie?
Oh, yeah, I'll go ahead and share. Is Queen Z finished? Okay. I too want to go ahead and say that as you looking for your purpose, and like Queen Z was saying about sometimes you don't know what it is, and I have heard on multiple millionaire platforms, they say your job is your investor until your hobby can invest for itself. Your job is your investor until your hobby can invest for it, can kind of self-fund itself. But my thing is, where you are right now, what your current situation is, learn how to have a positive attitude there. You know, my husband, Shalena, I have to talk about my husband because he always fussing at me. And he said, Angie, because I solely want to be on stage speaking, and I'm a nurse, but I feel like I'm better at talking and speaking because that's where my heart is. That's where my passion is. I love my patient, and I know I'm a good nurse. I'm an excellent nurse. It's always room for improvement, but I feel like I can better serve what my passion is on stage talking and mentoring to women. So my husband said, Angie, you're going to stay right there in that situation until you learn how to have a good attitude. If you haven't made this and open the door to the speaking engagements yet, so right now you need to have a positive attitude, because if not, God is going to let you, it's going to be worse. And so I think that when he told me that, I shifted and I was happy going to work, but I know, Lord, I could be doing something else. And I was missing, appointments. I was missing speaking engagements. I was missing seminars because I'm on this job and I'm working 12 hours. And like I said, I'm working 3 in the evening to 3 in the morning. I was like, God, I could be in my bed. I can attend something. But as long as I was having those negative thoughts, it was making me miserable on the job, which I'm sure was showing up negative in my performance. So once I start shifting my attitude and start thinking positive, like, I'm going to have a good day today. So I started dressing up more when I went to, at first I wouldn't wear colored lipstick. I would just wear a nude. And I'll say, Angie, your patients are sick. They need to see your pretty white teeth. They need to see you smile. And when they look up and see, it's something about, like Shalena mentioned, when your nurse is happy, that'll take your mind off what you're really feeling and feel like, wait a minute, she's so happy. What's she so happy about? And I have noticed that it has really changed and shifted. I was reading a book called The Difference Between Employees and Boss, and this might even help you ladies. It is also part of the 10 distinctions, Shalena, between employees and boss. And the thing is, said about employees, some people like to be told what to do. So that's why they can't go and seek their purpose, because they get frazzled having to be the boss. They get frazzled having to be, authority, leading the authority, and having to be the person that has to be accountable for when things go wrong. So therefore, they will remain stagnant and be complacent because they don't want to be responsible. They'll rather stay there and be told what to do. That's what makes them different between employees and becoming a boss. So shifting your mindset, like Queen Z said, and then being able to, even if you're in an area, that you like, if that job that you own and you trying to be, you the meat cutter, and you really hate cutting meat, then I would advise you to get out of there. If you really want to do payroll, being the meat cutter and you really like doing payroll, go and find you a job. Go and do some volunteering until you get the credentials you need to start out from entry level. I started out entry level. I didn't go straight into being a nurse. I started off doing insurance. Taking the insurance co-pays, moved up to being a tech, a CNA, went to LPN, then went on to RN. So my life, where I am right now, everything positioned me to where I am right now. So thank you.
I think Angie and Queen Z, you both said so many wonderful things, and I do agree with that. Like, really have a great attitude with where you are right now, and blossom where you are right now. That is so important too. And if you read any of the inspirational books or motivational books, whether it's Think and Grow Rich or is Rich Dad Poor Dad or Millionaire Mindset, they all encourage you to explore the area that you're interested in. Like, Donald Trump had his show, The Apprentice, but when you really look at what an apprenticeship is, you're studying under someone or in an area that you're interested in. So even though you may be working a job right now and you might be interested in, I want to speak, or, I want to do different things, the power of volunteering in that area is so powerful because you're building relationships, you're getting to know key players, people are getting to see and know who you are, and you're getting a taste of it. Like T. Harv Eker, he wrote Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, and he was just like, he wanted to open a bakery. He's like, I want to open a bakery. We all have like different fantasies. I want to open a bakery, or, people tell you can cook. I'm going to open my own restaurant, right? He's like, instead of you taking out loans, opening up a restaurant, opening up a bakery, why don't you go and study up under someone? Why don't you go and work up under someone, even if it's for free? So you can get an inside look at, this is how a bakery is run. This is what needs to be done. This is what's required of me. And it was funny. He said after he did that for about 90 days, he was like, nah, I'm good. I would rather buy the pastries and be involved in it. But a lot of times what we do is, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to quit my job. I don't want to work for anybody. You're kind of looking at the fantasy side of it. It is romanticized a lot. And one thing I do is I try not to romanticize it too much for people, because it's like you have to lead your life. Like, you have to be willing to put yourself out there. You have to be willing to market yourself. You got to be creative. And it's like, if you don't work or if you don't make money, you won't pay your rent. When you're first starting out, like, you're not going to be able to do those things. And so you got to make sure you're prepared for that. So I also feel this too, that and not everybody's cut out to be an entrepreneur. There are some people who are just cool with, like, all right, I'm taking an order, and they're fine with that. There are some people who are really fine with that. And it's like, I've learned you can't knock them for that. Everybody is not cut out for different things. And like, I like to think about the music industry. Excuse me. Sometimes I forget it's still early in the morning, right? You look at the music industry. It's people who love. Matter of fact, wait a minute. Zamira and I know this person in common. She knows him more than I do. Carvin Hagens. He is a Grammy award-winning producer, and he helped to produce Musiq Soulchild's hit song "Love." I would try to sing it, but I'm not going to sing it. But you know, that's a love, so many things. Anyway, so last year I had a chance to listen to him speak. He said he grew up always loving music, but he can't sing. But he loved music, right? And then what ended up happening is he's like, all right, this singing thing not going to work. I can't sing. I love music. But by him still respecting that love and respecting that passion, it led him into a different area of music, and it was on a production side. And he was like, I remember him distinctly saying, it's like, I can hear something doesn't sound right. I can't sing it. I can't sing and I can't sing it, but I know when something's bad. But he loves music. So he was able to find his lane in music. And I think the problem we have in society is like, oh, well, I like to dance, I like to sing. I need to be the one in front of the camera. I need to be the one on the mic. And that's not always how it is. And you can find passion and you can find your purpose in that arena, but maybe not in the initial way that you thought. And don't think you're a loser because you don't sing that well, but you can still rock it out in another lane. So Samara can speak to this person a lot better than I can, but I think he's a great example of, I have this love for music. I have this interest in speaking. I have this, I have that. And follow that. Give yourself the freedom to follow that. Oh, well, all right, let me be honest. I really can't carry the tune, but you know what? I can write music and explore that, So Quincy, what are your thoughts on that?
I'm in 100% agreement with you. I think a lot of us definitely have awesome skills. We have some dreams, but sometimes what we're called to do is in that same realm, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that. I like the analogy you use, especially about with Carvin. That was a great analogy. There's tons of people who love dancing, right? But they might not be called to be a dancer, but they could be a choreographer for someone else. And I think that can also give you drive and vision because you're still in your passion. It's just in a different form at this point. And same with speaking. I love speaking, but I know I being in the front of the stage like Shalena and Angie, that's not a passion of mine, but I love speaking. So I like doing it in more smaller groups, something a little more closed and definitely intimate. But you guys are called to lead in the spotlight in the front. And I think when people start understanding their lane, they can dominate their lane. Like it can be in the same exact, industry. It can be in the same exact surroundings. But once you dominate your lane, that's all you, that's all you. So I think that's very important. Once you find what it is that puts your heart on fire, again, it comes with searching, find again within that industry or within that purpose-driven situation, what you are definitely called to do. So you can have some things such as helping people, but how are you going to help people? And that is just something where that takes some time to build, but once you find it, just go all in and do not stop. I think there's a lot of people who stop because they're looking for someone else's approval. And that is the saddest thing that I've ever experienced, even within my own self. When I started looking for other people's approval, like, is this my purpose? Yeah, this is my purpose. That doesn't matter. Because here's the thing, you're going to be called regardless if your mom likes it or not. You're going to be called regardless if your spouse likes it or not. And those are things that I say with a loving heart because I had to adjust my own way. Like once you start walking your purpose, there are people that will just be like, all right, see you later. You've outgrown me. And I think that's okay. But we have to love them from a distance and understand that we are called for so much greater and we're already marked by the Creator to be of greatness. And I think that's just something that we attach ourselves to other people's opinions, and that actually weighs us down into finding our purpose and living it full out. So I encourage anyone who is like in the midst of, do I do this or do I do that, to pray on it for a while, just to like really seek some clarity, meditate, and then from there go and see what it is that you're called to do. But do not, and I repeat, never in your life let the opinions of anyone else pull you off of your path to what you're called to do. It's a very big thing. I'm very key on that. Even if it's, my mama or my best friend, like I know what I'm called to do. So I'm going to do it and be obedient to God's word. And I think that's just something that we should just throw in there as well. Just the opinions of others, take them out your window. Stay focused on the grind. Stay focused on your purpose.
Angie, I just wanted to say something right now. Lord help me to get through this. Because it's one of those things where it's like you had to have been there. You ever been through something or heard something that's like, man, you had to have been there to get the full gist of it, right? Mm-hmm. This is the thing that gets me. Like, okay, we're talking about speakers and stuff, right? I think today, like, it's about what you have to share that makes you speaker worthy or whatever, or how you can move people and motivate them, right? Not actually how well you speak, not a whole lot of things. Okay, so this weekend I was hanging out with my brother Sean, me, Casey, Sean, my nephew Rashid. We all went to a pool party for Memorial Day, and so on the way up, I was just like tired of. Okay, I was tired of hearing. I was tired of hearing rap music. And I said, I don't want to listen to rap music. So my brother Sean found NPR in my car, and I was shocked. And so NPR has a bunch of interviews and stuff like that. On the way home, he put back on NPR, and I'm not exaggerating. We kind of like jumped into a segment, and it felt like someone had like a disability or something, and it, to my ears, it just was mumbo jumbo. And I was like, Sean, what is going on? Like, why do you hear this? Because you know how like when you're having, you just have fun and the radio was on. But I don't want to imitate the sound I heard, but it sounded like mumbo jumbo, like the words weren't really formed. I can't, like, it was weird. I said, Sean, what is going on here? And so I changed the channel because I was, what the heck? It was just like, it sounded like, and I'm like, is this a person talking? Like, what is going on? He was like, I don't know. NPR be on some different stuff sometimes. But I didn't want to listen to the rap, so I turned back to NPR. Maybe that segment went off because I didn't understand what was going on. So I stopped and I listened. And the person was still saying like, like that, right? But they had an interpreter. And I was like, oh, so I was right. This person's disabled or they have a disability and they can't form their words properly. So then they had an interpreter. And the interpreter, what the interpreter said sounded interesting. So I just like slowed my mind down and said, all right, listen to the person who with the unformed words, right? And when I listened, I started being able to make out some of the words that this woman was saying. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, she said for every time it was still like jumbled. But when I slowed down, I said, I think this is what she's saying. And then the interpreter would come back and say the same exact things I thought this person was saying. Mm-hmm. I said, oh, interesting. So I started listening to what the interpreter was saying and trying to like decipher what the person was saying and then the interpreter. And guess what? That was actually a woman, the disabled woman was actually giving a speech. Got paid big bucks to give a speech. And I'm telling you, her words were like, you at first like, what is going on? But she uses an interpreter, and this woman is an international speaker. That hit me like a ton of bricks because when I listened to what she was saying, it was so uplifting. And she was talking about just because she has a disability, it doesn't mean that she doesn't have purpose and that she can't live her life and be of service to the world. And her story was actually funny. She was talking about like, just because I'm disabled, that don't mean that, I don't have romantic relationships. Her story was so funny when I allowed myself the permission to listen. her story was so funny. And it was like, just because she disabled that, she's like, basically, that don't mean she can't get her groove on. And she told us about a time, the first time she got her groove on, right? And she was like, yeah, and he was looking at me, and it was amazing. I went on this journey with this woman, and let's be honest, you couldn't really understand her. You really had to listen to her, and you did need that interpreter. But I'm like, she lighting up stages all over the world, and she can't fully talk. And they were, and honestly, if I was there, I would have given her a standing ovation at the end. And at the end, she was like, I'm a cougar. I'm a self-respect. This lady was so funny. She was like, I'm a cougar. I have no shame in my game. It was so amazing. But it's like, she really can't even talk, but she is a world-renowned speaker, and she gets paid to be on stages. So it kind of goes beyond like, what do you have to offer? And it goes back to what I said about purpose. How can you inspire, empower, uplift, and motivate people? And what are you brave enough? Because you know, when she first said she want to share her story on stages, people, but she still believes she had something of value to share. And I just thought that was so amazing. So if she's ever somewhere speaking, I probably would go, because she was so funny. And like, of course I would need the interpreter, but it was just beautiful. It was a beautiful experience. So I say all that to say, it's really what you make it out to be. It's really what you make it out to be and what you want to be. So we did have a question here. And Shael says, what happens when you stay after so many years, you lose your purpose and your drive? I don't think you can ever lose your purpose. Not to me. On your drive, you can lose your drive. But you can turn your drive on and off. That's how I kind of look at that. So Zamira said, rediscover the fire, rediscover the passion. If you are no longer passionate about it, your purpose may have shifted. I think that could be true as well. So in terms of that, Angie or Zamira, Angie and Zamira, what do you think about that when you stayed somewhere so long and you feel like you lost your purpose or your drive? So Angie, can you speak to that?
I sure can. When you stay in a place and you begin to be complacent, that is because something in you, something that you want, and something that's got you trapped between fear and faith. And as long as you keep staying there stagnated and you having that tug of war with your mind. And I know, because I did it, I did it with this book. I know I needed to write it. I, kept making excuses on why I was writing it. And then I became angry when I seen other people launching their book. And I'm thinking, Angie, that could be you. That could be you. But the thing is, it could not have been me, because like they said, God give you opportunity. When you don't take it, he move it on and give it to somebody else. So when you're allowing yourself to stay stagnant, that you need to have that self-evaluation talk with yourself and ask yourself, why am I here? What's keeping me stuck? So you need to address those issues. Is it that you really don't want, the attention that comes with it? Maybe you scared of disappointment. Maybe that's the reason why you scared of failing again. So it's allowing you to stay stagnant. So, have that conversation with yourself. Write some things down and listen to some motivational stuff, and then surround it. I have an Apple Watch, and I have you able to set the screen of it on, and I put on this screensaver, me and Bishop T.D. Jakes holding my book, because I went ahead and went to Office Max and made me like a quick little book with the cover on it. And I have him, and every time I look down my watch for the time, I know time is ticking for me to get that book. So you have to trick your mind in order to get yourself moving. So there's some things that you have to overcome, because I feel like whatever failure was out there, it cripples you. Thanks.
All right. I definitely agree 100%. And what I said in the chat is still relevant. I think sometimes it might not even be our purpose that shifts, but it could just be like what our focus is. I definitely have had points where the drive has, I don't want to say it's decreased, but you have those times where you get in those moments of momentum and then you kind of stop. You can't stop the momentum. It's like an ever flowing ball. It's like once it starts going down the snowball hill, you got to keep it up, and you got to keep pushing it. Shalena actually had a nice character picture the other day about self-doubt and what the brain and the heart says. And I loved that, because that is so true. There'll be times where you doubt yourself. And I think that actually holds us back sometimes from really going full out into what it is. I completely agree. When you find you just might have to rekindle that fire that's inside that's burning. You might have to get yourself around some people that are going to push you every day to be better than what you were yesterday. And you may have to just dive into some more personal development, in some motivation to be able to get those wheels turning on where's my passion and how can I continue to set it on fire. So that is that's just my advice on that.
As we are closing out the show, I like this. I like this segment. I like this way this setup is done, as well as having a guest speaker for the week. I do like that, but I do kind of like the panel discussion as well, because it just gives us a chance to have a different perspective on some things. So I just feel like whatever it is that you're going to do, you gotta be willing to give it your all and pour yourself 100% into it, no matter what it is. And you have to take ownership of all aspects of it, because every day is not going to be roses. Every day is not going to be peaches and cream. There are going to be some days where, and I'm going to be honest, in my journey, I have had instances where it's been people literally trying to fight against me or speak badly against me. But for the most part, it's been me against me. And that's where that personal development comes in at, where it's like believing in yourself, no matter what, still going and giving it your all. So no matter what it is, you really have to give it your all and be all in, no matter what it is. And accept all that comes along with it, accept the good parts, the good money, the slow months, the you trying to figure it out months, the praise that people are going to give you, the hate that you're going to get, you being uncomfortable, having to stretch it, it all comes with it. And I think, like I said, just don't fall for the romantic parts. Just don't fall for the parts that people are always romanticizing for you, like always flashing money in front of your face or always jet setting and vacationing. And like, people will show you what they want you to see. They don't show you the other stuff. And so you just have to use wisdom and know that there are people just like you. They deal with the same kind of issues and things that you deal with as well. So don't you dare get caught up in that, right? So use some wisdom there. So I think this was a good discussion. If you have any more questions, feel free to type them in the chat. Okay. And I think that this is an ever-growing discussion. It is an ever evolving discussion. And every day you should be seeking, how can I become better? How can I touch more lives? How can I have a greater impact? Like the Bible says, more of you, God, and less of me. Like, how can you be of a greater service? You know, and so I hope that you all have enjoyed today's show. Yes, reignite, rekindle, all of those good things. And I just, I just don't think we lose certain things. We just need to, reconnect, reboot. That's what I said on Facebook. I said, I think I need a reboot. And part of that reboot may mean I need to fast. I need to start doing some more exercising. I might have to limit some things that I do, read more, whatever it is you have to do so you can become better. Let's all do that. So thank you so much, panel, for this show. Thank you so much, everyone who's tuned in. So now we're going to take a moment to go around and tell you what we all have going on and how you can stay in contact with us. And Angie, she's going to go last, and she's going to close us out in prayer. So Angie, we thank you so much for coming straight from work and hopping on here. That really shows dedication and her wanting to help and serve. So we thank you so much for that, Angie. So I am Shalena Diva, the Purpose Driven Diva. You can find me everywhere at Shalena Diva, and check me out at shalenadiva.com. You can find out my my courses, how I can help you, and different things like that. Find that all on my website at Shalena D.I.V.A. All right. I have a boot camp that's coming up, and I will tell you all more about that. So I'm super excited about that. Queen Z, if you can tell us where we can find you and what you have going on, that would be great.
Absolutely. So right now I am still running my 30-day program. I'm also going to be running a 10-day belly fat detox, and what that looks like and how that works and how that can happen. It does not involve fasting, but there will be points and periods of time where you do not eat and you'll only stick to liquid. So I think I'm going to run a 10-day belly fat detox coming in the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned on Facebook and Instagram at Fit Queen Z, and I'll be sure to add it in the YouTube chat so that you guys can find me with easy access. If you see me on the Shalena show, type Shalena when you're reaching out to me so that I can offer you some special bonuses and discounts to programs that I'm running throughout the entire summer. See ya.
Angie?
All right. Sometimes it'll blow up to my face, and then sometimes it just leave me down. I was like, okay, is it my turn yet? All right. My name is Angie Lee on Facebook, and on Instagram it's Angela Celeb _blogger. Right now I have going on that I am breaking down the book, the 10 distinctions between a millionaire and middle class. And I wanted to do this book because I wanted to help you identify some of your spending habits, help you identify some of the things that you may have been doing, helping us break down the generational curse that maybe you wasn't aware that you were doing it because grandmama and great grandmama was doing it and passed on down from generations further. And I am offering a price of $20. Regular price is going to be $37, but I was offering, since I was on here with Shalena, I'm doing $20, and class start on June the 10th and June the 17th. And it'll be 2-part series, and it's going to be held on Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, let's go ahead and I can pray now. Okay. All right. Let's go to the throne, and we're going to tell God, thank you for all those wonderful nuggets. Thank you for the trials and tribulations. And I think with Shalena doing it as a panelist and with Queen Z, you already have heard some of our pitfalls. So therefore, when you out here and you making out where you're going to go, you can kind of help derail. We are helping you keep from derailing your business and your mindset and your pockets. To jumpstart your business. Dear Lord, my Heavenly Father, I'm asking you to come to us, dear God, and let us put water on those seeds that were planted today. Dear God, I'm asking you that as we go, some of us going back to bed, some of us jumpstarting our day. We just want to say thank you, dear God. Thank you for the people that you already set for to go before us. They're going to be an inspiration to each one of us. They're going to thank you for Miss Shael that reached out. They're going to maybe complacent. They're going on some things that you have her to do. They're going, but I'm asking you to give her a sense of boldness, give her a sense, they're going to live out on faith, they're going, and let her know, they're going, that you have her. She is your daughter, they're going, and you don't want us to operate in a spirit of lack, in a spirit, dear God, that's under what you want us to have. You are a man that you want to do overflow and you want to do abundance. Dear God, that's my prayer for everybody on the call, even those who listen to the replay. Dear God, to let them operate on a spirit of abundance. And like Shalena said, give them a chance, dear God, to explore that if that door closed, dear God, keep on walking down till they get the yes, till they get to that job or that passion that they want, dear God. And sometimes you have to do it out and volunteer, dear God, so you can find out where it is that you want them to be. Dear God, it say, eyes have not heard, eyes have not seen, nor have ears heard from the goodness of you. Dear God, thank you. And you all have a wonderful day. Amen.